Hello YouTube, my name is Gog and welcome to my closet. I am here today with you in the flesh. You are taking a little ride here, ski on my forehead, and we're going to be doing something new. This is kind of the other thing I do. I play the video games and I make things. I make art. And I am proud to say I'm a semi, that's a semi-nested within a semi-professional artist here. And I'm going to show you guys what I do, and hopefully you'll like it. And actually, I have something to confess. It's that I'm actually from the future, and I've already made what we're making. And here it is, guys. It's an ant mask. This is... Oh, and we got a visitor. He just couldn't resist. Well, hey, this is our ant mask. We just built this together and it was a lovely time. And I really enjoyed it. And I hope you guys will too. And we're going to be doing this from start to finish, all on camera. Not all on camera, a little tiny bit off, but everything important is on camera. And we're going to go over everything involved and all the tools you'll need in just a minute here. And I'd also like to take this time to talk about this as a process for me, the recording of this with this little face camera. It was a lot of fun, and there's some difficulties. Oh, is she going to jump? She wants to jump. There's been some difficulties. What I have here is a little webcam that I have mounted to my forehead, and it's not the most awesome webcam in the world. And there's some light flickering things that I see going on that I don't really know what's happening. And it also does this weird focusy thing, and it actually ends up really funny. When we get into the process, there's this part where it zooms in right on my cat's face for some reason. I think it's adorable. Alright guys, we're going to get to this. I will see you, a past version of me will be seeing you in a minute, guys. I hope you enjoy it. See you later. Hello YouTube, let's just get started. So, where I start with this is with a Google search, and we already kind of got that set up here on my iPad. This is Lolly. She will be a frequent visitor of this series, I think. What? Alright, so looking at an ant head. See, looking pretty good. So this is where we start. What we're going to be doing is looking for obvious lines here. So what a good place to start is just this shape, this kind of squarish kernel corn shape. So that's where we're going to start. She is very curious because this closet has changed very much in the last 20 minutes. So here is all that we're going to need for this. This is all the tools. We're not going to get into some of this stuff probably this episode. We got our pliers here, and these are very important. It's very important that you get yourself a pair of compound needle nose pliers. And these guys have been well worn. They usually come with a spring that kind of holds them open that has totally broken. I like it much better without the spring, actually. And we'll need that. And the wire, this is what we're going to be doing. This is how we're starting out. And this stuff is very cheap. This is about like 1/4 of a roll, and a roll is about $10, and you get a lot of use out of this. This can get you through a lot of projects. So we're going to be starting with that kernel corn shape. So it's kind of cut a little bigger than you think you're going to need, and you can kind of use the extra for other pieces. So we cut that off. We got a little nub at the end here I'm not too pleased about. And so this is how I work the wire. I start the wire like this. I give it a hook. We use that hook for a number of things. It's useful mainly for when you need to straighten, and we're going to do, I'll just show you guys how I straighten this stuff. You pretty much hold it like this, if that camera's getting this right. Hello, Lolly. You want to basically be putting pressure on the wire at two different points in opposing directions. And that really helps you pull it straight. So we got that going there. We're pulling on it. And we just kind of pull it there. And it's not totally straight. We don't need it totally straight. So we're just going to make this kernel shape. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make the shape. We're going to come back around. We're going to hook in the opposite way right here. So I don't want to put this point. Usually, you know, if you're going all symmetry crazy, you want to put it at, you know, your symmetry point, your apex, come around, down, and hook up there. But we're going to be doing all kinds of connecting at that spot. So I don't want to have it all complicated. So we're just going to put it kind of the lower-ish area. So it's very easy. We just kind of go around making our kernel shape. This wire is just super easy to work with. It gets tricky when you start getting real small. But this will be good. You know, this was a pretty good size we just pulled off here. Kind of straighten that out a little bit. And so we want to come in just a tiny bit. This is going to be, I make these, they usually kind of end up a lot of different sizes. I try to make them a little different each time. It's just kind of fun that way. Kind of gives them a little extra personality, I guess. That's not looking right. Come on, guy. Hopefully the shot is working right. This will be a learning experience. So here we are. We got it right where we want it. So you can kind of adjust like this. So you see you want it to kind of end right there. So we kind of mark that with our finger. And then you cut, but you know you're gonna need to hook in. So you want to leave enough for a hook, about like a 1/4 inch-ish. Depending on your gauge of your wire. And we will be working with other gauges, but right now we're going to start with this easy stuff. And this is, sorry, I probably didn't mention it. This is 14 gauge wire, and I use 12 and 16 gauge. The 12 gauge stuff, oh man, that stuff is beastly. So here we are, about to do another hook. So now we're going to be hooking the opposite way so we can hook in right here. So, and the way you kind of do this is you kind of take your hook, you grab it where you want to, and you just kind of give yourself a flat surface and just give it a little hook there. Yeah, yes, I know, it's very interesting, isn't it? And so there we go, and now we're ready to close off. You got our hooked right in there. You can either do it, you know, with this part of the plier, the big openish part. That's really good for your thicker gauges, but this stuff is really pretty not too much with the compound. If you don't have the compound, it's really hard to work with, and you're probably not going to be able to do it without a pair of compound pliers. I don't know. I tried, and I had a lot of difficulty. Okay, and there we go. That is hooked in. We kind of refine the shape a little bit, trying to even that out up there. Yeah, that's not looking even. This needs to round a little bit there. Come in a little bit there. This is a little sharp there, but it'll be okay. Stuff doesn't have to be perfect, and I found that a little imperfection kind of helps. It helps give it a little more organic, makes it a little more organic. So now what we're looking at is we're looking face forward at the ant head. We're going to have the little mandibles come out right here. We need to do a little more contouring of this piece. Namely right here. We don't want this big flat thing here. We kind of want this to curve up so that then we can curve down to give it kind of more of a flattish mouth area to which we can attach the mandibles. So that we just kind of hold on to it, both edges like this. Oh yeah, you just gotta be the star, don't ya? Yeah, she just has to be in the shot. Just gotta be a little cutie. And you kind of just do that, you know, just give it a tiny little curve. Not too much. We don't need a lot there. And that is that for the first piece. And really, that's all you really need a reference for, at least for me. I don't know about you guys, if you're going to be making along with me. It might take you a little more referencing. And also, it also helps because I've made this thing a couple dozen times. You're just being so distracting. aren't you? Oh, just give it a little chompy. Okay. So now we got our, front-on profile done. Now a good place to go would be our side profile, just to give us a good overall shape. And for that, we're going to just be going, start out right in the middle. Kind of, then from there you can just even things out. So let's just get right into it. We got this piece here left over. We don't need to take all that curve out. One thing I've learned is that it's really handy just to work with this curve. This wire comes with this great, she doesn't like the wire so much. Comes with this great natural curve. So you work with that often, and you really find that you're not going to be making things straight very often like this. You can see it's not going to be real straight. There probably will not be a totally straight line. I mean, from this plane it will be straight, but it's going to curve like this. So I don't know if that counts for you or not. It doesn't for me. But so you're going to want to keep a little curve right there, and then let's start straightening it out here because it's going to kind of come down into the mouth. And there we go. And let's just do this quick. So let's just attach it. And once we attach it, we can once we have it attached on one end, we can kind of wrestle with the other end, and it's a little easy. So, and you'll notice I have, that's what these are. We'll get into this later, these magnets. These are a pivotal piece of my process here. And I have them on the end of my pliers here to just keep these little things from just shooting everywhere, because they're just like little bullets. If you just cut a little short piece off, it'll just go flying. So, and they also they're kind of a pain because they'll snap to this wire sometimes, but sometimes it's useful just to get the right angle on this. And hopefully you guys can see this. But you kind of got to get it gripped nice and tight right there in your pliers, and get it where you want it, and just give it a squeeze, and it'll squeeze right in there. And kind of grip it again. It would just try to not get the main guide there. Just grab the two ends and give it some more squeezins, and that's that, and it's connected. And we kind of want to refine this line just a little bit. Yeah, this one's usually I have this part a little more square. We're gonna do a little rounded just to mix things up a little bit. So that looks like a pretty good line right there. So yeah, this process is all just about putting down lines, and it's really mainly about describing your thing with as few lines as possible, to be as efficient as possible. Just because that's really what this process kind of arose from, was my quest for material efficiency. I really like this process because it ends up with a product that is pretty much only surface area. There is no volume whatsoever, and that was kind of something I've been like searching for in my artistic career ever since I can remember making things in 3 dimensions. And I don't know if you probably think it's pretty strange for me to be sitting on the floor working like this. This is how I like to work. I like to work in my lap. I'll lean back eventually when I need to. But working on a flat surface, man, that's for working in 2 dimensions, and we are not going to be doing that. We're going to be contorting ourselves all around this thing to get at it at the right angles when we start our sewing. That is a big part of the sewing. Alright, so that's a good profile there. That will do us just fine. Now, before we go any further with the top of this part here, we need to do a little definition on the back, and we need to put it, it's probably not able to see this, so that we can put our head in it. That's a big part. So what we're going to do, this is what I usually do, is we're going to put a line like this, so that when you put this thing on, you're going to be kind of slipping it on your head sideways and then twisting your chin into it. Sorry, I think I just bumped the mic there. So we're going to put that line in there. So you just grab your wire. Probably won't need any more than that's too much, but that's okay. So let's just preserve this curve, man. Just take it and just manipulate it, and you can just do this, and it stays just very, very, very nice. A very nice curve. And see, the more you try to muck with that stuff, the more it's just gonna get messed up. You know, so you want to give this a little bit more pitch. So about like that. That is about where you can stick your head in there like that. So that's about good. So we can cut about here. Let's just cut one side first. And this is we're going to do some fancy hooking here. You got to kind of think about these hooks, you know, and the way they're going to go. You know, it's not just going to always be a straight on curl around. Sometimes you're going to need to hook it, then twist it 90 degrees so it can catch. So we're going to hook that there. I think we screwed up our curve. Let's see, we're kind of messed up here. Yeah, this will be okay. It'll be fine. Just cut off about 1.5 inches on each side and we'll be fine. And when you need to do things like that, you need to like make sure you're cutting off the same off both sides. You can just take your scrap and just hold it on up there, and you got a perfect little guide to how much you got to cut, and you got perfect. And we'll just put the scrap over there. Okay, and here we go. I'm really curious to see how long this is going to go. This is usually I do this a lot quicker. You know, I'm able to do this if I'm not having to explain everything, which don't get me wrong, I'm really excited to do for you guys. This is something I planned on doing on my channel. So you just do a little hooky there, and once again you kind of hook in. You always want to hook with the plane. Not always, but I'll tell you when you don't want to. But you hook with the plane of your stuff, you know, of your wire on this straight plane. I'm not sure if it's straight to your guys' perspective. Yeah, sometimes you gotta do a little twisty twist. And we got that, and so now you can see the hooks aren't facing the wrong way. So all we're going to do is just twist them out 90 degrees. So you just grab it like that, you know, kind of hold your thumb there, give it a little guide, and there you go. This guy's he's a little shallow there. Let's give him a little twisty. And that's that. This will be our sort of chin guard area. This will kind of slip in under your chin. So let's just clamp this in there. Get one side on first. Oh, I really hope enough of this is getting into the frame. This is going to be really interesting. I might be recording this. We'll see. So once you got one in, you can kind of eye it out and see, make it level with the other one. Things aren't always going to be level. Things are going to always be adjusting. And that's one thing that's really great about this process is you can just kind of go into this, and all you got to do is kind of grab it like this and give it a little wiggle. And you can adjust it and slide it up and down, reclamp it, and you're set. So this is going to need a little bit of a curve because it's going to come down and hook under our chin here. So there, something like that, you know. I got a nice line there. That's like the back. This one's going to be a little small, a little smaller than I usually make them, but that's okay. So now I think we want to continue this and just make this a nice big gesture of an object, and a really good place to start. After that, this is a very quick process. It does not take very long at all, especially if you've done it before. Once you do it a couple times, it is just easy as can be. We're just grabbing, make sure we're hooking on the plane, on the straight this way, you know, straight ahead, line it up. It's easy to just line it up with your thumb. You can just kind of grip it like that and just push up and it'll line right up for you. And you just give it a little hook. Oh, yep, hello there. You're just right in the way, aren't you? Alright, and so this is going to be we're going to be doing a little bit of the mouth definition here. We'll say right there. So this will kind of be the flat part of the inner mandible. You know, you're not really going to see this. It's going to be pretty obscured. So we'll just keep that little bit of curve we got there. That's nice. We'll just take that. And we'll give it a little bit more. Turn it on the right plane there. Straighten this out a bit. And we'll do all the tweaking of that piece after this is attached here. Just give it a nice grab. And I am filming this, if you're curious. I purchased a webcam, not a very great one. I'm having some issues with it. It's not totally performing how I would like it to, but we'll see how it this first recording goes. And just give that a cut. We just shot that off. We'll just grab that so it doesn't poke some of the thing. Let's poke a little kitty here. Alright, and we just hook that on the fly. That's a nice line. I'll take it. And give it a clamp job. And there we go. That is the big gesture of your ant head. Now we're going to do a little bit more of the fun stuff. We got 2 more steps here. We are almost... The most complicated part will be the last part, which is the mandibles. So let's cut a biggish piece here. Because I don't want to have to recut again. I'm going to have to get some more wire pretty soon. I'm almost out. So now we're going to be... let's take a look at our picture again. Let's not do the password on camera. Hopefully you guys can't see this. If anybody decides to rob me and steal this iPad. Okay, so you can see, I don't know how well, you probably can't see this very well, but so it's like a kernel shape. We got our line down the center, got that done, and you can see that it kind of arcs in and then hooks over to kind of give this a sort of airfoil shape, I guess you could call it. So now we're going to do that. Well, hey, I know it's bright in here. So I am sitting here in my closet. I hope you guys can't see the lights. I've got a couple really big 300-watt incandescent lights blaring on me right now. It's not as hot as I thought it would be. It's alright. We're pretty comfortable. Alright, so we're just going to... I always like to start with the hook just because it's a good place to pull on. It gives you more control. So now we're going to want to make these pieces, and we're going to do them on both sides here. So we're just going to want to mirror that, and that to me is looking a little off center. We will remedy that here. So let's just make this. This is one of the great things that you get when working with 3 dimensions, especially working with the wire in this really congruent linear way. You have symmetry. You have real, true life symmetry that is just so easy. So I can just do this, you know. We got a piece there. We're going to be using that. Hook that and just grab this and just line it up. Line it straight up. And we're aligned. And we cut, and we got 2 pretty much, not quite. We can, you know, it's not always right. It's pretty close though. That's pretty close. This is going to be a little bullet. So you kind of shoot it at the floor like that. Ooh, my foot is falling asleep. Oof, oof. Okay. Okay. So now we got these 2 pieces. Hopefully these will be long enough. I think they will be. So now these are going to be going in, you know, like this. This is a very broad gesture here. So this is tricky. This is when you start hooking in on these weird planes. So we're just going to come in like this. We will just hook here. This is a good spot to just get off there. Grab it. Give it a nice little squeezy. And yeah, you just kind of define. The wire will tell you where it wants to go. We'll just pull it. We'll do something like that. That is very good. This is going to be kind of a fatty-faced ant. He's going to have a big, broad face. So now we need to hook down here, and it's a little tricky, you know. The wire is kind of wrestling with me now. You kind of just hold it like that. Take your pliers, grab the end, twist. You can see we're kind of on the wrong plane there. So just kind of give it a little twisty, and try to get it right cornered in there. That's a good spot for it. So yeah, and then we'll kind of pull this a little bit like this so it kind of hooks in a little more. Because he's going to have kind of a big fatty face. Big fat-faced ant. Alright, that fits. And do the other thing on the other side. Just kind of eyeball it. Oh yeah, we were going to adjust this, weren't we? This needs to go. So this is where you just kind of go in there, just give it a tiny little bit, and it'll let go. And once we have everything like in place, and if you really want to be really want it to stay, and if you're going on a bigger scale, sometimes you have to do it. And what I'll do is I'll take like an edge like a junction like this, and I'll take really fine steel wire, like it's, I mean, it comes in like a little tiny roll. I should have brought it in here. And I'll just bind it, you know, and if I really, really, really want that to stick, I will take and drip like super glue onto that binding, and then that's not going anywhere. That is solid. So let's just put this guy on here. So we're gonna put, maybe this carpet is probably not the background, the best background to be working on. Okay, let's just do it right here. Hello, I know. This is so interesting, isn't it? So now we gotta kind of wrestle with it. It doesn't want to bend this way right at first. We have to do a little convincing. And we just kind of, what did we do? We just kind of pulled here, we hooked. Oh, kind of got my finger there a little bit. That's a big hook there. That's not ideal. Oh, I probably have been out of shot there. Hopefully this thing can see. Okay, this camera. So I have it mounted on my forehead, and it took me a couple days to come up with a mount that worked. So this needs to change its plane just a tiny bit. So you're gonna want to go this way, guy, so that you can come into here kind of level, like so. Okay. And there's that. That's, give this a little bit. And I think I might, God, this turned out to maybe to be a little too big, because we're going to have a big bump right there. I'm not sure how well it's going to work. And now here you want to, we want to kind of keep this, we can't have these loose like this. You got to put something there. And we are going to need to be attaching to this spot eventually for the antenna. So we want to put a little bit of bracing in here, just up between these three pieces. Let's see, what piece should we use? We'll go with this piece. So for bracing, we'll just go like this. Get out of here. Give it a hook. And we just want to kind of measure our brace there. And so that looks about good. So that's where we want to hook in. Give ourselves right there some extra hook length, like that. Oops, we lost it. Just using your fingers, you're gonna lose it sometimes. It's okay though. It doesn't have to be exact. Alright, and I got that in my mouth. We're going to be using our mouth a lot in this process. It's a very, very vital tool. Okay, and we just hold on to it. Line it up. Got everything evened out there. We got these two pieces, and we hook back, hook the other way, so we're nice and level with this guy. So we got a little mini hot dog thing there.